Hello, Chris Green here with the Flood Insurance Guru. Today we're talking about the policy assumption request form. Now, you've probably heard us talk about this a lot in some of our videos, but today we're actually going to walk you through on this form what everything means. So when we're talking about this, as you can see on the form right here, what we're talking about is when we're transferring this policy from one buyer to the next. And we want to make sure that, first of all, property owners understand how to go through this process, insurance agents, realtors, mortgage companies, because so many times we hear from people, hey, that policy is not transferable, or they don't check to see if there's a policy on the property. So today we're going to show you exactly how to do that. So let's talk a little bit about this today. On this form, as you can see here right next to me, there's a little information that you need to get on this form. Submit this form to FEMA or the National Flood Insurance Program. You should hopefully have it back in about 48 to 72 hours. So the first thing is going to be policy number. You need to make sure you have the current policy number and the property address listed. You know, not the mailing address if it's a different address. You got to have the risk of the property address to make sure it matches. Then in the next section, you need to have your insured seller's name. You need to have a mailing address if it's different, their phone number, their email address. Then the next section is going to be the purchasing information. This is going to be the same thing as the seller's, really. It's the purchaser's name, their mailing address if it's different, the phone number, their email. And then you get the mortgage information. This is where you need to have the mortgage company listed, their address, who the contact information is, you know, if they are different, a mailing address like the seller or the purchaser. And then you need to have the loan number, and you need to have the purchaser's lender if it's going to be different than what's listed above. The date of a sale, and if it's going to be a mortgage bill. You know, these are all things that need to be filled out correctly on this form. The next section might be one of the most important sections, though, especially if you're taking it from a rental property to a primary residence. That means that your surcharge should go from $250 to $25 because it's now a primary residence. But you got to make sure that you've got it marked that it's not a rental building. You got to make sure that it's 100% residential. You've got to make sure that you've also got it listed where you're living on the property at least 80% of the time. On the last part of the section is you're going to need to have the seller's signature, the buyer's signature, the mortgage representative's signature. The other thing we also recommend submitting with this is going to be your primary residence form, where you just need to check that you're going to be living on the above property at least 50% of the time with a signature. Now, not all write your own carriers are going to have this, but we do recommend listing this with this. That way they can go ahead and get that surcharge adjusted too. So that's what we wanted to talk about today. So remember, if you've got questions about flood insurance, click right below to visit our website, floodinsuranceguru.com. You can also check out our YouTube channel or our Facebook page where we do these daily flood education videos. Remember, we have an educational background in flood mitigation, which means we can help you understand flood risks, flood insurance, and mitigating your property long term. Thank you.